Game 7. It's 4-1. 4-1 Rangers.
You have nothing to worry about.
Pardon?
You have nothing to worry about.
Just saying it's going to be a Game 7. That's it, man.
What?
I'm gonna go behind it.
Ladies and gentlemen, head coach Jason Price. I could just have a show of hands when you're ready to ask a question, please. Okay.
Jason, just did you feel this was the atmosphere you thought it was going to be with these two teams facing each other?
Yeah, incredible. Incredible fan support tonight, and just a great atmosphere for a match, no doubt. Okay.
Jesse, tell a little bit about the kind of night David Villa had, what you thought of his performance.
I think David was a little frustrated on the night. I think he's coming back from an injury, and he's got a little bit of rust that he needs to knock off. And at the end of the day, we have to make decisions that are a little bit more future thinking than just about trying to get a result tonight. So at 70 minutes, the decision was made to let's protect him for the next one and keep him healthy. Okay.
After the red card, it seemed like the team had some chances, then struggled to break down New York. What were they doing effectively?
I think New York is a very well-disciplined, well-put-together team that defends extremely well and hits you on the break extremely well. So played right into their hands a little bit because we were there in the second half throwing both of our outside backs forward and taking all kinds of risks, probably a little bit too early. And they hit us on the counter, which effectively killed the game. Jeb had a nerve issue that he's been dealing with the entire week, sort of training less than 50%. If it had been a playoff game or something that was very emergent, we may have considered playing him. But because of that, I wanted to go with somebody that was 100%.
What ended your decision to withdraw Mix?
I thought Mix was just not great tonight. I thought he was kind of in and around things and not making plays, either in the attacking half or the defensive half. So, we need to recognize that we're not going to all have great games all the time, and we've got guys on the bench that we believe in. So we'll make those changes if we need to.
Jason, how tough was it to give up that early goal and get the crowd obviously?
It was crushing. Yeah, it was crushing. But credit to the Red Bulls. I thought they came out with a tremendous amount of energy and put us under it, as we knew they would. But we just had a couple of mental errors there, and it's difficult with a team that's dealing with things like we are right now. To give away an early goal sure hurts.
Jason, when you're up a man for as long, even though you are on the road, is this a game you need to get something out of?
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, Vice.
Jason, obviously, as an expansion team, you have tough issues to deal with. What does this right here mean to you?
I think right now I'm a little more concerned with Friday night against Chicago than I am about the next meeting with the Red Bulls. But as I said, I think that was a terrific atmosphere for a game, and I'm certain that the return leg will be just as high energy. A bit confused as to why, probably if it was up to I spoke to him briefly, and there's no problem there.
Okay.
Coach, have your expectations changed about what this team can be this season based on the results of the first time?
No. I continue to see a lot of quality, and I continue to think that we're close. I really do feel like every opponent we've played, we've been very close. We're not quite there yet, and I think we need some improvement, and we need some more time together. But I continue to believe.
Brian?
If the expectation itself of the ultimate goal hasn't changed at all, has your opinion of how hard it will be to get there changed?
Yeah. And you used the word expectation. I think if you remember early in the season or before the season started, I wasn't using that word. It's not a word that I like to use. So I came into this expecting that my guys would fight hard all the time and expecting that we would look to improve week over week. Those two things have happened. But I would say that how hard I thought the job would be, how difficult I thought it would be to get points in this league has proven to be a little more difficult than I had thought and I had remembered back in my early days at Salt Lake.
Okay, final two questions, Graham, and then
Can you talk a little bit about the contribution of Shelton's side and also Mullen seems to be very direct?
Yeah, Patrick has been a guy for me that, every time he plays, he gives us everything he has. And that's appreciated. And quite frankly, I think we need more guys that are willing to really give you everything they have. He makes intelligent runs to get in behind the back four, and he's on the end of things now with 2 goals. So, and Kyrie's a player that's can be really electric, and I think the potential for him is extremely high still. But I don't think he's anywhere near the finished product. He's still making mistakes, more mistakes than he ought to. But that comes with being a first-year player. So we recognize that there's a big future in front of him, and development for him is the key.
final question.
What positives do you take out of this game going into Friday night's game, and is RJ Allen one of those positives?
Yeah, I thought RJ had a good performance. Got forward and assisted well, and showed that he was fit to get up and down the line for the entire 90 minutes, which wasn't an easy task tonight. So his performance was positive. I think there was a few other individuals that came in and brought something tonight for us. And I will continue to try to take every ounce of positivity that I can, and keep moving the group forward. At some point, a bounce or two will go our way.
Okay, thank you very much.
Again, if you can just raise your hand for the microphone, we'll come around to you. Okay. Start with the right and Christian.
Coach, even going down a man, it seemed like your team effectively kept some shape and was able to hit them on the counter. What was your message, and did the team effectively empty out the basket, if you will, in this game?
Yeah, we have talked about, if we go a man down, what the tactics needed to look like. We still want to find moments to try and press and now compress the field and win balls, and then when we do, play forward and see if we can catch teams on the counter. We were able to do that effectively tonight. We'd make it easier on ourselves. I mean, getting the second goal was hugely important, but it would have been, obviously, the third goal was there for us, and that would have made the game a lot easier. But in the end, the test of the will of this team and the mentality and what it takes to be when you're a man down. I thought we grew so much today, and it was a character win, and I'm proud of our team. Proud of our team probably more now than ever.
Go right up front.
Jesse, everybody saw your emotions on the sideline during the game, but as you talked to your players, what was the level of emotion that you wanted them to have amid all the atmosphere and the hype and all such?
I guess I was emotional. You could say that. But, I wanted our team to use the emotion in the right way, but also stay focused on the things we felt we needed to do to command the game. Obviously, we get an early goal, which we've been talking about having better starts. But then they actually pushed the game a bit and now had a series of corner kicks, and we're playing in our end. And so, you got to give them credit for their response after I went 1-0. And then in the end, again, when we go down a man, I think every guy just really dug in and emptied the tank.
Matt, did his 19 years old show tonight a little, and he's going to be gone at the U20s? Do you think that's going to help him, or would you rather him stay here? I mean, what's going to be best for him and the team in that regard?
To start with, he gets caught a little bit and almost tangled up in the second yellow. So it was a little unfortunate. He was beating himself up a little bit, but this happens with center backs. Something you pick up an early yellow, and then especially with the way we play, where we try to press up the field, there's situations where now they have to put out fires. He gets tangled a little bit, second yellow. I tried to say to him, this happens to the best center backs. It's not just a young mistake. Can he learn from it? Absolutely, but he also, until the second yellow, was playing really well. Going away to the 20s, it's not an easy time for us right now, but I think it's an important moment for him. He's established himself here. He's become a real pro, and now he gets to go on the world stage and against a bunch of players his age, put himself to the test against some of the best in the world, and now see how he can hold up there and play for his country and see if he can help that team be successful. So in the end, I'm excited for his opportunity to go. He'll go one game earlier than we wanted him to go, but we wish him good luck.
Jesse will go to the left.
Coach, how much did this feel like a rivalry game tonight? I know it was only the first game, but how much do you think the players maybe got up a little more? Did you get up a little more emotionally for this game? It feel like a rivalry?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to it. I think that having the energy of the stadium was awesome. Certainly, we all knew about the fact that this will be a future rivalry. I mean, that's just a fact. That's the way it's going to work itself out. There weren't too many crazy moments in the game, which surprised me a little bit. So there was emotion, but. And I think maybe that the red card kind of took some of that out of the game. But overall, what a great crowd, what a great event. I think a great moment for our league, a great moment for both of these clubs. We're going to benefit. Seriously, I knew this when I was at Chivas. We benefited from that rivalry we had with the Galaxy. Those were always good games. Those were some of our best games of the year. The games are played with high energy, high emotion, very physical. We're better. We're so much better for playing this game tonight.
We'll go to the right with Frank.
Jesse, you had talked about the midfield battle during the week, and then the game starts, and Lloyd Sam dominated right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a strength you had picked out early?
Yeah, we thought that whoever they put out there that we could be strong in that spot on the field. Even that said, I felt like in the first half we could have tried to get Lloyd involved a little bit more. That was one of the messages from the bench. Games like this, when it's so loud, the players can't even hear you, so it's almost I should just sit down and let them play. But yeah, we did feel that we'd be able to exploit that area of the field.
We'll go to the left with Dan.
Jesse, obviously, like you said before, you've experienced the rivalry with the Galaxy and Chivas USA. How difficult was it for you to contain your excitement for what you saw out there before the match, during the match, and even after the match, celebrating the victory?
Yeah, I'm not sure I contained it very well, apparently. Yeah, these are the games that you want to play. You want to be part of. You want to coach in. So, there's different moments in my career. Some of the World Cup games come to mind. Some of the big rivalries in Chicago. Some of the finals. Some of the derby matches with the Galaxy. But this one will go down as one to definitely remember. And yeah, the competitive juices get flowing. And now, especially when you're down a man and you see your guys fighting like hell to do everything they can to win that match. It was inspiring. I'm proud of them, and it was a big night for us.
We'll go to the right.
Jesse, coming into the match, and for the past couple of years since NYC was announced, there's been the anticipation about this game and how the fans were looking forward to it. Did the scenes out there from the fans, did it exceed your expectations overall? And just the second one on NYCFC, next time you play them, do you think do you see them being a team that's going to be better down the road? Because they've lost 6 or 7. Some people might think they're already done, but do you see them being stronger down the road?
The first part is I knew it would be awesome in the stadium tonight, and I think it was incredible. It did exceed my expectations, and I think what I like about our crowd right now is they get what we're trying to do, they get how we're trying to play, and they respond to it. So it makes it even have more energy at the right time. So it feels like an educated crowd and an educated fan base. For New York, I don't want to comment too much on them. The only thing I can draw on is to say that it's not easy, okay? And the ability to stay on track and stay on course is so important when you're an expansion team. And, at some point it starts to turn. And it's not always easy. You need to go through tough moments. It's the only way. It's the only way to do it as an expansion team. You need to go through tough moments and then understand how to handle them and then understand how to move forward. So next time we play them, I have no doubt they'll be better.
We're going to go to the left.
Jesse, just for personally, where does this milestone of this first Derby win in the Hudson River Derby rivalry, I guess, where does this personally rank for you? And also, does this 3 points mean a little bit more, even though it at the end of the day, it only counts for 3 points, but does it mean more for your team because it's a Derby?
For me, I touched a little bit on some of the experiences that I've seen, but this experience in itself is only important for me because of what it means to our team, which takes to the second point that, I think that this cements a lot of the things that we've been trying to build and trying to put together. And now to see the team go on the field, especially in the second half, and understand what it really meant to play for each other, what it meant to be tactically aware, to react, to stay tuned in. I felt like the focus on the details of what it was going to take to win that game was at the highest level for just about every single guy on the field for us. And that's going to make us better. And somehow we've got to bottle that and harness it and make sure that every time we step on the field, that as much as we've been playing well, that we can do that at the highest level every time.
We'll go to the right with Franco.
Jesse, how big was that early goal just to get the crowd into it, and obviously you set the tone for the game you guys wanted to play?
Yeah, I think the early goal was huge. We've been talking about better starts, so obviously that was big. I think the second goal was probably even bigger because when you're down a man, and again with the way that we're trying to play, even when we're down a man, to get that second goal gives you a little bit of breathing room and knowing that you can still make one mistake but keep yourself moving forward. So. Every goal's big in every game, but I thought the timing of both goals was very vital.
We'll go to the left with Eric.
Jesse, in the lead up to this match, there was a lot of talk about the physicality, and a lot of the guys were saying first 15, 20 minutes, it's just going to be a battle out there. What did you think of the physicality overall? And quickly, can you just mention Ronald's status, because he wasn't in the 18 today. It seemed like he was working his way back to fitness and training.
Yeah, to be honest, it wasn't quite as physical as I thought. And I think that might be due to the fact that both teams want to play. And so it was a soccer game it covered ground. It was up and down. There was a few moments of physicality, but there were two teams that were trying to play forward and play in the other team's end and command the game by scoring goals. I think, for instance, the New England game in New England and the DC game in DC were much more physical than this. In terms of Ronald, he's still continuing to move forward, but we didn't feel like we wanted to put him on the roster in case we had to make an early change at center back. Turned out to be an important decision because then we had Carl we met on the bench, and when we needed to put a center back in the game, we were able to insert him. So that wound up being a good decision.
We'll go right down front.
Just to pick up on the conversation about the centre backs, we've talked about Matt, but can you talk about Purnell's contribution this evening, and also just either before the game or at half time, was there any discussion about his yellow card accumulation?
We were very aware of him being on the cusp of what do they call it? Good behavior. I don't know if center backs should ever have good behavior, but he he's quietly been very good for us, and he just has such a feel for how to deal with defensive plays, and now to put himself in a situation, often physically to get an edge, but at other times reading a play so that now as things start to happen, he's in the right spot at the right time. So Damien did very well. Carl to come off the bench in a game like that and being a man down and not be afraid and compete and make almost no mistakes for a young center back. That was a very good performance. So, there was a lot of talk about center back position at this club before I got here. And actually, I think, Ronald, who we think is one of our better ones, hasn't even gotten himself going yet. But now we've seen that a lot of our center backs have stepped into tough moments and done well.
As a manager, how difficult is it to take someone off when they're on a hat trick?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not easy, but in the game, you're just trying to make decisions that help the team. And so, to be honest, I think maybe the sub could have been made a little bit earlier, and the discussion was a little bit on the front three, which one to take off, because we knew that all three of them are capable of making another play, but they were also all three tired because it was very demanding what we were asking of them. So in the end, we went with Bradley, but it wasn't an easy decision.
We're going to take two last questions. First to the left.
You shut down David Villa and Mix Diskerud, forcing them obviously to be subbed early. Would you say this was your strongest defensive outing of the year?
Well, it was a different kind of game for us because we get the early lead, then we go down a man, and now a lot of the things that we've tried to accomplish tactically this year almost get changed a bit, and we have to readjust. We've addressed it in training so they knew how to play a man down, but there was a lot of big defensive plays that were made by all the guys on the back line and Felipe and Dax, and for that matter, everyone on the field. But our back line continues to be a strength of this team. Kamar Lawrence and Chris Duval put in so much hard work and cover so much ground and put out so many fires. So. And then when we put in Roy Miller and a third center back, we wanted to give them the freedom to try and go out because they were causing us trouble with their wide play. So we wanted Chris and Kamar to step out more to start to close that down. And I actually thought that was a good move, and those guys executed that really well.
All right. Thank you, Jesse.
Good. Thank you.
Bradley Wright-Phillips is coming in right now, guys. Again, just raise your hand. Questions for Bradley Wright-Phillips. We'll start right here to the right with Christian.
Bradley, just after the season you guys have been having and the new roles and responsibilities you've had, what does it feel like to have a performance like this and kind of put the team on your back?
I feel like today, a lot of the work we've put in and what we've been trying to achieve in training and in games, I think it showed when we went down to 10 men, the character that we got in our squad.
We'll go to your left, Brad, with Dan.
Two quick questions. Bradley, first of all, now that you've finally experienced what is New York versus New York, can you compare it to all the derbies you've had in England?
Every derby's different, they all have their own, their own things. I think this one's special because it's new. Both teams were trying to get off to the best start, and we done it. I'm just happy we won. I think we can let history, tell the story in the future. For me, it's not about that. We got 3 points and we won the battle for our fans, and I'm just delighted with that.
And secondly, because you did play for Manchester City back in the day, what is it like to score against not their obviously their team from England, but their New York team now?
Thanks. Back in the day, I'm like 30, bro. Yeah, it was. It's a nice feeling, We're starting our own battle, and we got our heads in front, and it feels good.
We'll go to the left.
What was the feeling and the emotion when you put the ball in the back of the net in the fourth minute? Obviously, the arena goes crazy. So, what was the feeling on the field?
I don't know. I think we started well. Lloyd Sam was getting a lot of joy, and I could feel a goal coming. Obviously, didn't know who was going to score. I was just happy to be on the end of it. I didn't have to do much. I think Lloyd done all the work, but it was a great feeling. Just scoring a derby always is.
Bradley, right, we'll go to your back right.
Bradley, both your goals today, you were pretty much wide open in front of goal.
Yeah.
You also got through on goal a few other times. How well do you think the coaching staff nailed the tactics today, soaking up the pressure and hitting the counters?
I feel like we didn't want to play counter-attack football. When teams come here, we want to go at them. I just think the game called for it. We went down to 10 men. We had to use our energy wisely, and they were obviously trying to get a goal, and we could, use our pacey players and players with, a good football brain to catch them on the break, and it worked for the second goal. And I think, I should have scored or passed the third one, but it was good. We were getting in still.
Brad, we'll go to your left with Eric.
Yeah, Brad, that's actually what I was going to ask you about. Is that third chance? Is that maybe a chance you maybe pass off if you're not in a hat trick to seal that one away?
I wasn't thinking about the hat trick. I was wondering if he was offside. So as I'm going through on goal, I was thinking, if I pass this, will he be offside and do I waste a chance? And by the time I got there, I just didn't do a good enough job of getting it past his feet.
Brad, we'll go right up the middle.
Just curious, Coach talked a little bit about how you guys were prepared, knew exactly what you were doing when you went to 10 men. How common is that, just in the teams you've been on, that you were that prepared and that aware of precisely how to proceed in that situation?
Yeah, that sums up Jesse. We've done a few sessions, playing against a man up, and that's what he's like. He leaves nothing to chance. Every little detail we know. What I was thinking on the pitch is I've played against 10 men. It's very difficult. I think when you're going into a game and you're the team with 10 men, always remember, it's very difficult to play against 10 men. And, obviously, I think they struggled with it. They struggled.
I think a lot of us this week, certainly in the media, we've been focusing, just looking forward to this game and almost treating it like a one-off and so on. But how important was it for the team to come off the first loss and bounce back that strongly?
Yeah, it was always going to be a test for us. We lost down at New England and everyone was hurting. It's a game we think we could win. Obviously with the magnitude of this game, we knew it was important to get a win. Plus playing at home, despite the derby, we want to win our home games, and today was a great performance and a good bounce back.
Go back left.
All the hype this season has been focused on them and David Villa. Do you look at this kind of as a statement game to show you're like the biggest star in this area?
No, not at all. I don't think I'm a star. I say it all the time. People think I'm not being serious, but I'm the kind of player. I'm not. I don't feel like I get people out of their seats. I try to get on the end of good plays, and I don't want to be the star. I want a championship ring.
All set. Great. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
Bye.